I'm called the Alaska Eskimo Whaling Commissioner. You know, way back in the day, before we were born, before I was born, before Emily was born, 1960s, 1900s, a long time ago. Yankee whalers, they call them, with sails, the big wooden boats. That's what they call them. From other side of the country of U.S., New York, Florida, even other countries of Portugal, Brazil, Britain, maybe Cuba. Everybody wanted whale oil and bay leaf back then. It was a very important, like oil, crude oil, gasoline. That's how important it was back then. Back then they used the oil from the whale, the walrus, to light up their lamps, like like bulbs. Back in all those big cities. So they found out at Alaska, this area had a lot of walrus, whale, bowhead whale, gray whale, minke whale. But those two whales of gray whale and bowhead were very prized, expensive. Like in today's dollars, they may be worth $50 million for one whale, or 2-3 whales. In the Philippines used our bowhead oil.
We could.
Yeah, it was exported around the world. So all these boats came to our waters, near our island, all the way up to a barrel. They hunted the whales, 50 at a time, 100 at a time. All these whale boats as big as a gym. They hunted the whales. How much they can get, they hunted. They killed. So, walrus, just for their oil and bay leaf. So, back then, these whalers came from New York, Boston, and killed off all the whales, almost all the whales. There were thousands of whales back then. But anyway, after they almost finished off the whales, they quit coming, 1600s, 1900s, and early 1920s, 30s, you know, 30s. My father was born 1930s. They still bowhead whale back then. 1970s, getting a little bit more modern now. They suddenly there was IWC formed by countries of the same countries that killed off the whale, called International Whaling Commission. They told us to quit whaling, bowhead, 1970s. I was a little boy, 7, 8, 9, 10 years old then. I didn't know what was going on, but my grandfathers, they had 12 skin boats with sails. And they hunted them then. IWC and United States, they said, quit whaling. There's no more whales, they said. But our ancestors and our fathers said, no, you're mistaken. There's still a lot of whales out there. They believed in it, because we see them out here. We're near the ocean. We could see whales out there still. But maybe not as much, because they just about killed off a lot of whales, thousands of whales they killed. So the elders, on the way to Barrow, Point Hope, there's 11 villages called AEWC, Alaska Eskimo Whaling Commission. They formed this to get together. Hey, they think, hey, let's get together. We don't believe the whales, bowhead, all the big died off. Let's fight for our rights to hunt the whale. AEWC was formed, which I'm a member of. So back then, they fought legally. They fought IWC. We don't believe the bowhead whale has died off completely. We believe there's still lots of them out there. Because we could see the baby when we go out hunting. We could still see the mother and calf out there. Because sometimes bad weather will keep us from going hunting. But we're still at the beach looking. Or maybe we'll go out whaling, we'll see them and never catch. Because they're inside the ice somewhere. Mother and calf, lots of bowheads still together. But AEWC was formed back then. We cooperated with Barrow, Point Hope, Kivalina, Kaktovik, Nuiqsut. Near Canada, there's another village that they got together and formed. We united as 11 villages that bowhead whale. So back then, which I'm a commissioner, one of you kids might be in my seat right now, fighting for our right to hunt the whale. I was your age before. I thought I was dumb. I thought I didn't understand things. But as I grew up, I understood. That's why it's important to go to school, go to sleep early, be well rested, maybe go to bed by 10 o'clock every night so you guys could rest for tomorrow. That's what I do every day. I go home, if I don't have something to do or not busy, I go to bed by 10 p.m. every night. So I can be rested to come to work here. But one of you guys could be me in the future, fighting for our rights to hunt the bowhead whale. You guys learn the English language, and Yupik too. You guys gotta learn how to speak our language. But we have three, back then 1971, we had 3 strikes. 3 strikes to try to hit a bowhead. These villages they agreed. Barrow had little more, maybe 5 strikes or something. But we had only 3 strikes allotted. If we miss a whale, those 3 strikes, like in baseball, were out. Because we agreed, there's an agreement with the government of U.S. and IWC. It'll be illegal to hunt bowhead after 3, because the harpoon will go in and come out a little bit, or the bomb will go sometimes. That'll maybe injure the whale. There's 1 or 2 times I remember we strike out like in baseball. 3 whales we tried, 3 strikes. So we quit at 3 strikes. Because they said if you don't comply with our regulations, you'll go to jail. You'll be a criminal, which I think is wrong for going hunting. So that's why you guys gotta go to school and learn every day. you gotta almost think like your teachers. They went to school so many years to be here to teach you guys. We've got a few minutes. Any questions? Quickly. You know, I had a lot more to say, but you have any questions?
You can ask about whaling, guys.
Yeah,
Have you experienced about whaling or how difficult it is?
Anything. You know, we gotta, right? Hi? Oh yeah. Ryder's been on a whaling boat before. You know?
We have a question here.
Oh. Can you speak louder? I'm hard of hearing. That's why I'm speaking real loud.
Oh, you said that Guka caught a whale before.
Who?
Guka?
Guka? Oh yeah, yeah, he caught it. Because passed down, we'll start to learn at your age. Make sure we have warm clothes out there. Boots, waterproof boots. You know, bring flashlight nowadays. An elder told me before I learned, my machine broke down out there one time, 1970, my Honda. There were 3 wheels only back then. I had no flashlight. It was dark to see what I'm doing. So from that day, I was maybe 20 years old or 15 years old or something. He told me, don't ever forget the flashlight anymore. You will not know when you'll need it, and it will get dark. And you need to signal, you know, if they go on search and rescue on boats out there too. It's important to have flashlight and walkie-talkie, VHF or CB if possible. It's important to have one of the good things to always have is a flashlight.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
How long do you stay out there when you go whaling?
It depends on weather conditions and ice conditions. If there's a lot of open water, if there's whales out there, if we don't catch one, it'll be almost, you know, everybody start to try to go home before dark, at least 2-3 hours before. Because when it gets dark, the ice condition, we will not see in front of us of where to go. You gotta learn the current, where the current is going.
I got one question too. Do you study usually the whale, the oil whale? Do you can make it? Do you make it
She said, do you still need the oil?
Huh?
Yeah, is you start when they can, then you can use it, the grease to the whale for make the oil?
Oh,
I'll check outside again if you're done.
what, making the oil?
She said, do you still need the oil?
Oh, oil?
Yes.
No, we, nowadays, you know, they had dog sled back home. The dogs were used like snow machines in Honda, but we still use the oil. We ferment it few days. I'm sure some of you guys try it. We ferment the oil a few days, and when it's done, a week later maybe, we eat blubber still, fermented like fine wine. But you can keep tasting it every few days, you know. But you can get it too old where it's, you know, too much. So after that time, we, when it's good, we cut them up, put them in Ziploc nowadays, and put them in our freezers.
Can you guys say thank you?
Thank you.
Okay.
And I want my class to line up here very, very close.